Hi, I'm Steve Fraser with my co-author Dennis Mansell. I'd like to welcome you to Exploring the Dimensions of University-Company Collaborations, Research, Talent, and Beyond. Dennis and I have both worked for multinational technology companies. Dennis at Bell Labs on software technology, and I at Bell Northern Research, Nortel, CMU's SEI, Qualcomm, Cisco, and HP, managing and leading programs on software and tech transfer at the intersection of company, university, and government innovation. While there's something for everyone, our presentation and paper was developed from a company perspective. University and company staff should be interested to get ideas on catalysts for increased collaboration. Similarly, students may be interested to learn about university-company interactions. Our companies innovated products and services using a porous funnel of commercialization. While many innovations are internal to a company, they may be influenced by external ideas at universities or other companies. The ideas may also lead to unplanned products that are licensed to other companies or open sourced. In the early 2000s, University of California, Berkeley professor Henry Chesbrough described this complex process of commercialization as open innovation. Universities and companies have different motivations. For a company, employees are driven by the quarterly beat of shareholder expectations to create, to market, and to sell new products to generate revenue. For universities, educators and researchers are driven by semester and grant cycles to teach, research, and publish. Synchronization between the goals of universities and companies may be desired in several areas. Companies inspire innovation through grand challenges, collaborations, and talent acquisition. Universities reach out to industry for real-world problems, which can be used to calibrate and fund research. Governments provide incentives for company-university partnerships with grant programs, tax breaks, and contracts. Here we can see examples of universities and companies working together. On the left is an example of UCSD Triton Sort benchmarking Cisco's Nexus 5096, while on the right, we see how Cisco connected with its university research partners via its telepresence product. This brings us to the first key idea of our paper. There are university-company collaboration dimensions beyond talent and innovation. We use a spider diagram as our compass to the dimensions. For a university-company collaboration, it is useful to ask whether the value that each dimension can provide has been maximized. Companies benefit from recruiting university graduates. Innovation is inspired by the youthful perspectives of graduates and interns. At Cisco, we leveraged our funding of university research collaborations to scout for doctoral and postdoctoral talent. The connections we developed through collaborations were an important part of our recruiting strategy. Speaking of connections, there are implicit connections between universities and companies since companies are staffed by university alumni. University graduates work for companies, and in some cases, former company staff may take on academic research roles. These connections are often underused, but frequently are an excellent source of people who are passionate, motivated connectors. Continuing on our theme of connections, government incentives are a great way to catalyze research through grant funding, tax incentives, or programs that match company investments. Philanthropy helps catalyze new programs, draws attention to social good, and frequently leverages government tax incentives. Governments often tap policy advisors from academia, and technology companies frequently desire to build relationships with business school and humanities researchers to influence public policy. Marketing and sales are underappreciated dimensions for university-company collaborations. University researchers benchmark company products, often publishing performance data. This can be extremely valuable as a company marketing aid for company sales. Students are a valuable marketing channel, since students upon graduation may evangelize their experience with company products. For example, at Cisco, we partnered with the MIT Media Lab in 2011 to provide routers to power MIT's 150th anniversary light bridge over the Charles River in Cambridge, in partnership with Philips Color Kinetics and Panasonic. Marketing and sales are important to universities too, as they promote their education programs to attract new students. To summarize our views on dimensions, think about all dimensions, not just talent and innovation. And also, think about how each can add value from a big picture perspective. Bring you back to our context of university-company collaborations. Companies serve their shareholders and leverage many dimensions of a company-university relationship. Universities serve their community and benefit from calibrating their research and leveraging multiple dimensions of their relationships with companies. The second key message of our paper is that there are scenarios that help universities and companies derive value from their collaborations. We've grouped our collaboration scenarios into 4 areas. Number 1, feed the funnel of innovation. Number 2, catalyze collaboration, sharing, and learning. Number 3, track and demonstrate success. Lastly, number 4, support relationships. Based on our experience, feeding the funnel of innovation requires a champion to initiate and sustain a program. Losing a champion can result in program cancellation. Technology and talent scouting helps identify partners and broker a collaboration. Pre-pandemic, I would have said that a face-to-face interaction was the first key step to brokering a collaboration. However, we now depend on tools such as WebEx, Zoom, Skype, etc. Scouting now takes place through virtual seminars and conferences. Follow-ups can be done one-on-one virtually. Talent exchanges are a great way to learn, for example, through internships and visiting scientist positions. However, there is no doubt in my mind that virtual isn't helping when everything from recruiting to onboarding and working is done in isolation. Once a collaboration is in flight, a database is essential to track collaboration details. For example, historic spending, research topics, or project outcomes contributing to company success. As the director of a research center at a company, I was often asked by senior executives with little or no warning for project details of our collaborations. For example, historical current program breakdowns by university, topic, or number of doctoral recruits. Without a collaboration dashboard backed by a database, it would have been impossible to provide feedback quickly. From a company perspective, it is important to evangelize the fruits of collaborations for ongoing collaboration support, since programs without positive endorsement are prone to cancellation. At Nortel, Qualcomm, Cisco, and HP, I sponsored a number of group activities to foster collaboration, share best practices, and share the outcomes of university-company collaborations. These group activities included nerd lunches for staff at large, research commons for early career doctoral hires, and internal company conferences. Here are some suggestions on how to get started. Never assume that a program will sell itself. Marketing and promotion are useful tools to build interest in a program. Develop measures, preferably using a scorecard approach so that multiple factors can be evaluated. Leverage various funding strategies, including contracts, gifts, government incentives, and donations of in-kind services. Actively promote opportunities for learning. Before we wrap up, I'd like to share influence strategies that Dennis and I found useful to catalyze collaborations based on 2 books, Influence, Science, and Practice. The second book was Fearless Change. So highlighting a few of the strategies that we've used include leveraging the authority of senior executives, which provide a visible endorsement that a program is deemed valuable. Once a program was bootstrapped, there was often a follow the crowd effect that led to increased participation. This in turn resulted in the influence of scarcity, as funding or available slots for participation were limited. Food, or awards, were often important influences to motivate in-person participation in lectures or other events. Here are some ideas based on our experiences. As a company, consider joining a university research center or take advantage of free programs. As a university, consider organizing research reviews or inviting company subject matter experts to give seminars. We provided some suggestions. On the left are sample university consortia. while on the right are some company collaboration programs that universities might leverage. While we've talked mostly about the sunny day scenarios, as a company, you also need to ask whether you have the right partners, resources, observed all the necessary government regulations, controlled IPR leakage, and captured the value of your collaborations. And there are similar challenges to be considered by universities. Remember, to scale a university company collaboration program, you should have both a database to track your historical relationships, outcomes, and spending, plus a dashboard for reporting. In summary, please remember to consider whether your team is taking advantage of each dimension to the fullest. Thank you for listening, and please don't hesitate to reach out to either Dennis or myself if you have any questions. Thank you again.